speak again, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone. And Trashi Delis, again, Trashi Delis from Padma Samye Ling. Thank you very much, everyone, for participating and helping and supporting to part of the whole, our healing retreat together, which is really been wonderful together. Anyway, so beautiful. And so I'm very thankful and very happy with that. And now I'm going to continue again to talk about what we're going through the 6 Paramitas and within the frame of the Jigdral teachings. So therefore again we're going to strengthen our beautiful motivation of the joy and appreciations, and as well as then vastness motivation of the bodhicitta for all sentient beings. But I'm going to reflect the teaching and the study and the listening and the practice in order to benefit for all living beings. I'm going to get enlightenment and help it to all sentient beings continually from now on until everyone reach enlightenment. May I able to do that, really having those wishes, intentions very strongly from the depth of our heart, and then we begin to practice this or follow the teachings. So, and then purely understand realization of the Vajrayana teachings, and together with the devotions. All those are very important. And with this thought, and then now we again go with these 3 frames of the practices. And those are the 3 nobilities, or 3 goodness. And beginning good, middle good, and concluding good. Those are the 3s. Among that 3, we are now in the middle, we are going there. But even though it's the middle, we divide it like that way, but middle also has all that package. Good intention, good motivation, bodhicitta, joy and appreciation, and then practices. And then ending that with beautiful aspirations and a good thought or good heart, dedications. So everything is really like all completed. It's just beautiful, multiple vitamin capsules. It's just everything is completed. And that is how the old Buddha taught, gracious teacher Buddha taught, and all those great masters, lineage orders are showed and put up to us so that we can use. Is already prepared in a way, prepared the delicatessen that we can really use and eat and then nourish ourselves and heal ourselves and benefit for one's own self to others. So therefore, really also thankful, grateful for all the lineage masters that who kept the teaching exactly as what gracious Buddha, teacher Buddha taught, through their courage and commitment, and through their compassion and wisdoms. And because of that, they are so humble, they're so simple, and so down to the earth. So beautiful. If I use the word, regular word, they are perfect citizen, perfect, beautiful, average human being, citizens, but who are really completely clear, what could wake up in their inner goals. They're truly beacon of the peace, harmony, kindness, compassion, wisdoms, understanding, and also respect and appreciate everyone's. Their humility, their humility, what they shared to us, is just so marvelous, so beautiful. That's how. So therefore, thankful, and then really apply the teaching. And with this, again, we go now going in the bodhicitta. Actually, what we went through all is bodhicitta practices. Bodhicitta is essence. For that reason, Great Master Padma Samye Ling said, if you have one thing, that will be enough to reach enlightenment. Our goal in Buddhism, particularly Mahayana Buddhism, always talking that you get enlightenment. That's really always, or arhatahood. One thing, if we have enough, that is bodhicitta. If we don't have this bodhicitta, no matter whatever we practice at that, it will not reach our goal, what we are longing, what we are enthusiasm to reach or to get, it will not get. That is bodhicitta. If we don't have that, we won't get enlightenment. For that reason, Bodhicitta is essence of the practices. Bodhicitta summarize what in the teaching said, compassion and emptiness. Compassion and emptiness is the essence of the practices. Compassion and emptiness are no separations. When you got the realization of the emptiness of true nature, our compassion will be bursted. There is no restrictions. It just bursted beyond the directions to all the living beings. Therefore, compassion and emptiness realization goes side by side or goes together. They just together. And that is really the bodhicitta. Present time, our bodhicitta is kind of low, small, limited, trapped on all our ego-clinging activities that we accumulated from the beginner's times. It's trapped. It's completely locked in. It's coming out a little bit to guide ourselves, surviving purposes in the society of the human world or the samsara. Without that, we won't get. But it's small degree. Without the love and compassion, we won't be survived in this human world. Don't mention bodhicitta. Bodhicitta, love and compassion, we already discussed, is boundless. This compassion and love, what we have, what we call normally, is with bound, with border, with limited. But that is also light of our ordinary nature. Without that, we will not survive. We will not have any friends. We will not really kind of nourish it, or we won't have any happiness, peace at all. Think of that. And that is bodhicitta. Now we go in the teaching, Buddha teachings, that discover the whole bodhicitta, what you have, without any border, without any walls, restrictions. When we completely open that then we reach the Buddhahood, enlightenment. Then our love and compassion is limitless, boundless. So that is what, for those reasons, the gracious teacher, Buddha Shakyamuni, lay out so beautiful those 6 Paramita practices. This all practice of bodhicitta, to benefit ourselves, to benefit for all the beings, without any discriminations or partiality attitudes. Open like sky, shining as like sunlight, every directions. Dispel the darkness, the coldness, that ice cold attitude of the ego cling. Melting those waves gradually and bring up the beautiful nature, gentle, peaceful. Then we become the friend of everyone. What in the gracious teacher Buddha Shakyamuni's name is one who is a friend of all. Means all living beings. Buddha is a friend to all beings, whether it is introduced or not introduced. It's great friend. The permanent friend that we can rely on all the time. Always kind, always peaceful, always caring, always concerning, and very, very practical. If I use the word common sense, the common sense, full of common sense, beautiful. But every activities is leading us how to open the door of our treasures. The Buddha's teaching, every teaching is how to open the door of our inner treasures, loving kindness, compassion, and purify or heal, remove all the obstacles. That's really what the gracious teacher Buddha's teaching is. So that's I'm generally talking. We all know that. But I just again today is Sagadava. Sagadava to glorify, remembering the gracious kindness of the Buddha Shakyamuni is really marvelous. It's beautiful. It's very appealing, soothing. So therefore, I'm really kind of talking in a way. We all know those things. You all know that. So now we go to teaching of this among again the 6 paramitas. Again, talk 6 paramita is like generosity paramita, morality paramita, and passion paramitas, and joyful effort paramitas, and the concentration paramita, and wisdom paramitas. Those are the 6 paramitas that we all know. Again, I'm just saying that, but we all know that. Those terminology, names we know. Among that 6 paramitas, we went the 4 paramitas, first 4s. And particularly first 3 paramitas are mainly designed to help to the our body and speeches. Generous paramita, morality paramita, patient paramita is more kind of external practices. External practices, outer practices, and practices of the body, practices of the speech. Mainly, I'm talking mainly, is mainly. What that means? Of course, mind is always there. It's no matter. Everything what we do is completely connected with mind. But it appears that generosity, morality, and patient practices more outreach practices. Outreaching, call it practices. And the joyful effort is supported to everyone. We mentioned this, I mentioned so many times, and you all know. It is supported to all the paramitas. So it's the effort. It's as I said yesterday or other day, it's the moving force. Joyful paramita is the moving force of all the paramitas. That is what really moves. So that is support. But now this concentrated paramita and wisdom paramita is more related with the mental mind. So it's something that has to do more inwardly. That's what the gracious teacher, Buddha Shakyamuni, is teaching. Teaching is going deeper and deeper, and then go to all the way to the ultimate level of that. So concentration paramita is more mental states. It's teachings on the mind. And then wisdom too. Wisdom is mind, but of course wisdom is the eye of all the paramitas. It is eye, wisdom of all the paramitas. So now, today is the concentration we talk again. That is about the mind. And now, again, really talking about mind, and we all know, mind is ruler of the samsara and the nirvanas. Both the samsara and nirvana are ruled by the mind, according to Buddha teaching, produced by the mind. Both are really, both samsara and nirvana are displayed and ruled, maintained by the mind. So the mind is the ruler of everything. And let's think in the samsara levels, how mind is so important. When we say, I'm happy, who is really identifying and saying? Reality is mind. It's true or not, you can reflect that. And when I'm sad, when I say, again, fundamental, who's identifying saying that? It's the mind. Or everything is good. When I say, who is that? It's the mind. And I'm not good everything. It's also mind. So samsara levels. And then also cause of samsara. Cause of samsara, duality is the mind. Think of that. It's true or not? Correct teacher, Buddha is so open. It's so open. He said, Buddha said, what I said, you don't have to trust it. You can examine. You don't have to say, oh, it's because Buddha said, I have to believe. This is not believing. This is the analytic. In this time, we're not doing big analytic things in a grade those philosophy Buddhist schools. They do a lot of analytics, debating back and forth things, but we are doing this more approaching, more kind of easy way to do practice, easy way to reach to the goal and fruit. But still, something we need confidence and certainties. And for that reason, we should also to analyze this simple way. This is not a big analyze. So when we say what duality is the cause of samsara. And what it produced? It produced the gross level, the ego clingings. It's also mind. It's produced result of the dualities. When we have the ego clingings, then it has all the emotions coming, such as I'm talking, negative emotions. Ignorance is right there with the egos. It's just triggered there, like shadow and the body. They're triggered. Most when you have the ignorance, immediately there is attachment. Then comes attachment, and those are outcoming emotions, now negative emotions. Attachment that noticeable, that comes. And then anger, jealous, hatred thought, doubt and hesitations. All that variety emotions come from that. And the gracious teacher Buddha pointed out there's 6 root negative emotions, 20 sub-negative emotions. Those are just like gross, kind of also gross. Otherwise, what in the teaching said, the 21,000 of the attachment emotions, 21,000 of the anger emotions, 21,000 of the ignorant emotions, and 21,000 of the all 3 poisons emotions, or 3 triggered emotions. Those are necessarily 84,000 different negative emotions, order to subdue, order to dispel, order to transform those 84,000 the emotions. Buddha gave 84,000 teachings. Those are the teachings said. There's so many emotions, but the root of is the root troublemaker is ego clinging or the duality thought, the clinging, grasping, clinging. That's what teaching said. But that gigantic, that troublemaker, that such an enormous troublemaker of the all lifetimes, not just the one lifetime, but whole lifetime. Where is that? Again, it's mind. It's all starting from mind. The whole troublemaker, what the great master Shantideva says, it is this ego, is this I notion of clinging on the I or the ego, is the troublemakers. So many troubles. It is the greatest demon. This is great demon. So why I have this demon? Who is making so much trouble to me, to my friends, to my all the fellow citizens of the sentient beings. Why I should keep that? That's what really so great, clearly, loudly pointed. It's true. This is the ego clinging, but that's the mind again. And then is the bodhicitta we talk. Loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta. All those beautiful things, which is the cause to the nirvana, cause to the enlightenment. And wisdom. Again, why is that? It's the mind. So both the enlightenment quality of the all the nirvana or the path truth and the cessation truths coming from the mind, and all the suffering truth and the cause of suffering coming from the mind. Therefore, this is the reason so important to deal with it direct to the troublemaker, or direct to the source, or direct to the boss. Boss. Instead of going to the different branches and this and that, go to the boss. Boss. That is what that is concentration is. Is really going to the boss. Every turn that boss, right direction, that boss will help us in bring our enlightenment. The beautiful goal, the realizations. And we continue to carry with the same old habit, same thing, this boss is making unending troubles, difficulties, challenges, one after another, to myself. I talk with that, like as we talk ego, cling with myself and my friend, my family member, my loved ones, my fellow citizens, and my sentient beings. It's making all that trouble. So who is going to handle that? No one else is going to help you to that. Great teacher, Buddha Shakyamuni said, I show you the techniques. Now you the one have to put on the skills. You have to put it in the actions. I cannot teach you to take away or clean away your ego cleanings, your obscurations. You created, you have to clean it. For example, Buddha Shakyamuni, he took obscuration, also he cleaned it. He cleaned it. All that practice and meditations of the three countless eons. Same way. And all that these great bodhisattvas, great enlightened beings, great masters of the India and the Tibet, when we read life stories, they become great enlightened beings because they cleaned away all that obstacles by themselves. They got the skill and the technique and the methods from the teacher and the Buddha's teaching that ushered that path to how to clean, how to purify, how to make that rejuvenating from their own mistakes. They did. And we have the same capabilities, same opportunities. Now we have to click ourselves. This is the time to wake up. This is the time to get up. This is the time to bounce back to our tracks of the path truth or path to the enlightenment. Path to the enlightenment. We should do that. That is known as the attitude, the willingness, motivations, determinations of the practitioners. That's what it is. How we do it. We do this not just a clashing to someone, but we are going to bounce back to our ordinary nature status and bring such a beautiful, really intentional thought. Change from the fundamentals, as I say, from the boss. The boss of this mind is thinking all the time, ego clings, me, I, minds, and all the things. But now at least it is, I'm going to think of all the living beings. Every living being is mine. Every living being is so kind. Every living being is because of their kindness, I'm going to get enlightenment. Buddha showed the path and the teaching of the great masters, asked instructed or reminder of the practice, but actually who is going to put us on the practice and who is going to put us training, and who is going to help us? These sentient beings. Sentient beings are going to help us to reach the enlightenment. Sentient beings are going to help me to fulfill my generous paramitas. Sentient beings are going to help me to fulfill my morality paramitas. And sentient beings is going to help me to fulfill my goal of the patient paramitas. And sentient beings is going to help me to my fulfilling of the Dhyan paramita or concentrated paramitas. Therefore, they are all so kind, so supporters for our goodness, for our good goals. Without the sentient beings in the teaching say, we will not reach enlightenment. There is no place where we can learn and improve. So therefore, this we will thankful attitude and then really the practices. So now we discussed already all those three paramitas earlier, but now the Dhyan paramita. the concentration. As I said already, you all know now. I mean, I'm not talking that because you don't know. I'm just talking in a way, reminded to all of us what great teacher Buddha Shakyamuni taught, what is the concentration paramita. So now the mind is so important. Again, back to and therefore we need concentrations. If we don't have the concentration in the teaching, says no matter how much you do the good things, it's all scattered. If we don't have the concentration, nice concentration, that means that all the emotions are just waiting to get the opportunity or chance. They're just waiting. That if we have the good concentration, we can subdue. These emotions are just like kind of naive in a way. They pretend as naive and kind of hiding behind the bushes. As soon as they got the chance, they will attack us. But if we are vigilant with beautiful concentrations, thought, then they have no strength. They will go away. And therefore, concentration is so important and so special. For that reason, great teacher Buddha Shakyamuni taught the concentration paramita, dhyan paramitas. So that is my kind of brief talk about concentrations today. And now I'm not going to, I mean, you all know generally all this, and then I'm going to go continue this when we do resume the next time our retreat. I will continue to talk about the paramitas and all these other things and follow the teachings of the Dudjom Rinpoche's teaching, this heart advice for the 14th ones. I'm going to continue, so that's really that I'm going to stop here. But because why I'm stopping here a little early, 5-10 minutes early, and because I really like to talk again this Sagadava a little bit, Sagadava practices. Sagadava is again so important, according that you all know, and you can read so many books, and I'm sure you know so many great masters of Tibetans that everyone respect and honor and recognize this one of the really important practices that all the Tibetans really do. And so therefore I just really like to talk again a little bit about the Sagadava. Yesterday I mentioned about that taking the preceptus, 8 preceptus, which is the shortest preceptus in the Buddha teaching, is 24 hours a day. And then a tradition in it that also merged with the traditional lineage teaching of Loma. Loma, very famous Buddhist nun that who reached the enlightenment through the practice of the Avalokiteshvara, and her lineage teaching it becomes so popular in Tibet that which is known as Nyune practices. So this 24-hour practice that become the in Nyune lineages they use the practice for 48 hours, I think, 2 days. 2 days. So that means how they do that is. And of course, many of you already know, but a few of you don't exactly familiar with that. They do practice, for example, taking the vows, and like, let's say this morning, and then keep that vows and eat the lunch, keeping that vow, have the one lunch, the vegetarian lunch, and then have continual practicing on the Avalokiteshvara, cultivate the compassion, loving kindness, bodhicitta, basically. Bodhicitta, reciting and practicing, continuously, and then they do practice continually, and whole nights, and the next day, then even they don't eat any food, they don't eat any or drink anything. And for example, sorry, I forgot, in this afternoon, for example, if you take the vow this morning, afternoon they also stopping the talking or communicating with that, and just only practicing, reciting mantra, practicing, and just continue doing that. And whole day, afternoon, and whole evening, as much as you can, and until the morning. And the morning again, you take renew your vows one more time. And then tomorrow you won't eat anything, you won't talk anything, and even you don't drink anything unless you have the advice from the doctor, or if you feel you need it for the health reason, then of course you can. But otherwise won't eat, won't drink, won't function or talk to anyone, or speaking, talking, except practice, reciting the mantra. So that means that practitioner is what according to teaching. The whole forms are transformed Avalokiteshvara, and the whole sound system is transformed on the mantra of the Genesis, Avalokiteshvara, Om Mani Padme Hum, and all mind and thought are transformed in loving kindness, compassion, wisdom, and a great emptiness status, and continually meditating. And the following day, so that means tomorrow, day after tomorrow, early in the morning, then they get up and do some practice one more time, and then they come out of the fasting, and then they complete the Nyuni practice. That's called Nyuni practices. Nyuni practices. So that is like, as I said, 48 hours. 48 hours they practices, but you take vows, renew the vow after you finish it 24 hours. So that is Nyuni practices. Then just generally Nyini practices, Nyini, and Nyuni is slightly different, but it's the same. And that is 24 hours. That you can do too. If those people who don't feel to like to do, and you can do that. And that is at perceptus. And as I said yesterday, those who are interested to do that during this Sagadava, which is multiple, even you do the 24 hours, really is so wonderful. And you can take the vows that from the shrines, your own shrine. Your own shrine is a living quarter of the great teacher Buddha Shakyamuni and Guru Padma Sambhava and the Taras and all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. And feel really that is living, that is shrine. It's not just the statues are standing there or the picture or something. Truly that is really the Buddhas. Wherever we think the Buddha in the teaching said, the Buddha will be there. Moment you think, Buddha will be right there. Whoever think. And not just there, but will bless. Will bless. And that's what also same as in Guru Rinpoche too. And when Guru Padma Sambhava departing from Tibet, so many people are upset and sad. They say, oh, we will miss you, we're now going to not see that. But Guru Padma Sambhava said that, I never went away or going to way anywhere. Particularly those who are devoted to me, I will be right with you. I will be right with you. And this is really true. So many great masters and practitioners witnessed since 8 centuries until now in Tibet. Great masters witnessed. Great general, regular practitioner, lay person, man and woman witnessed. It's really that. For that reason, that Guru Padma Sambhava did not go anywhere into those who are devoted. It's always there. And the Tara is the same. All the great beings, enlightened beings, they don't have the distance between time and spaces. For example, these modern technologies, we're using this technology has no time or no difference of space and times. We are reaching now. Everywhere, wherever that is technologies. But when you got the develop the fully technology of the enlightenment qualities, it's like 1 trillion times, according to teaching, more powerful, more strong. Actually, there is no numbers. The power of the enlightenment is so strong and deep. And therefore, a filled strong presence and make nice offerings, nice arrangement. As I said, it's generous practices. Nice arrangement is morality practices. And even you spend some time with that patient practices and concentrate with the joy and effort. That is the Briya. Joy for efforts. And concentrate on that is beyond concentration paramitas. And clearly understand what you are doing with devotion distantly, that is wisdom paramitas. And do 3 prostrations. Make arrangement beautiful and 3 prostrations, sit down, and then in front of the shrine, then take that vows 3 times. And then you can visualize all Buddhas you are transferred, lineage blessings, gives you that blessings. 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 And then you told that the vow. You told them. And that moment, then Buddhas, Guru Padma Sambhava, Tara, and all the enlightened beings, with you doing the Yune practice, or with you Yene practices. That is. And you do the practice all the time. And the next day, when you have 24 hours every year, next day, then dedicated that merit for all the sentient beings. Dedicated that merit for all the healing purposes. Everyone's really dedicated. That is a great contribution for peace and harmony, for the world, and for the mankind, for the 6 realms. It's really so powerful. That is practice. And then during the Sagadava time, we as much as virtuous practice. Virtuous practice. And that means what? And avoiding negativities as much as we can. Negativities, as we said the other day, I mean, you all know, there is 10 negative virtues. Negatives. 10 negative, you know. 3 by the mind, 3 by the body, 4 by the speech, and 3 by the mind. And that all together is called 10 negativities. 10 unvirtues. That you all know. I listed 2 other days. But again I will list it. 3 by the body, not taking, and not stealing, and not sexual misconducts. Those are the 3 by the bodies. And then 4 by the speech, and which is not lying, not slander, not gossiping, not harsh speech. Those are the 4 by the speeches. And then 3 by the mind is not what's called not covetous, and not violence of thought, not wrong ideas, wrong beliefs. Those are the 3 by the mind. So avoiding that itself is virtuous. But during the Sagadava, trying to do also not just avoiding that, do some kind of like opposite of that. Opposite of that, what that means? Opposite of the not taking lives. If you don't not taking lives, which is wonderful, lives of any living beings, that's wonderful. But above that, what in the teaching said protecting lives of any sentient beings. Not just taking lives of that, but protecting lives of sentient beings as much as you have the capabilities, including the fish, insect, according to Buddhism. Insect, so anything that you can protect lives of others, it is virtuous. The Buddhas will be delighted to see that. Padma Samye and Taras and all the Bodhisattvas will be delighted to see. Really, they will be rejoicing at that. And then, not taking belong with others, that itself is virtuous. But above that, do generosities. Generosity paramitas, as much as you can do, according to your capability. Even to the homeless person, 1 cup of the glass, 1 cup of the coffees, or something kind of even small things, really with the respect, kind of reflecting our compassion in the form of generosity. And generosity, I will mention, and you all know, there is a variety of generosity practices that we went through one after another. And do whatever you can do. That is also generosity paramita practices. Generosity paramita practices. Then the sexual misconduct. Sexual misconduct is again not doing that itself is a virtuous. But not just that, but above that, take the vow, such as 24 hours vows. All that renewing our upasaka vows. Upasaka vows, those are the morality. What is upasaka vows? 4 root and 5 1, and all together known as 5 preceptors. That is general upasaka vow, lay practice in the Buddhists, those who want to take that vows. Those are the vows, which is moralities. And that is, again, 4 root 1 means what? That not killing, not stealing, and not sexual misconduct, and not lying. Those are the root of the vows. foundation of the vows. Above that, not intoxicated. That makes 5. Or renewing that vows, which is then known as moralities. Moralities. And then the next one is, and then you all know that. We went through that other day. You know that. Then just really do those things. And therefore also, and then each time when you do that with good intention, with bodhicitta. And of course you're doing that with the intention, but at that moment when you do it, bring up your beautiful intention of bodhicitta and dedicate that merit for all the living beings, to bring world peace, dispel all this trouble that we're going out through, these troubles, and as well as everyone's really, that just really kind of free that, and that also everything is really complete within the frame of the 3 beginning novel, middle novel, and concluding novels. Beginning novel, for example, generosity practice, even the small things that you do, generosity, start with the really compassion and loving kindness thought, and giving that to those individual generosity with respect and with polite and nice manner with that, and then after that when we finish it, also whatever the merit I gain from this, I dedicated that for all living beings to bring peace and harmony and joy, really wish that sincerely from that, and that for reaching enlightenment myself and others for benefit of sentient beings. That is completed practices, the total practices, complete. Even that looks like it's kind of small, but then doing all the different kind of community services, as I said, that's also all really wonderful. Wonderful, good. If that, of course, this time we have to be very cautious and thoughtful, but those any community service, all helping to the Dharma centers, helping to supporting that, whatever you can do, small in a big way, is a beautiful principle and beautiful reasons. It really is accumulating merit. Accumulation merit, what's the merit? So that is really my talk, and again, reminding of the Sagadava, and happy Sagadava to everyone, okay? And then of course, now we do continue our practices, and now this time we're going to concluding our healing retreat, right, in these days, and then so we won't have any teachings or the Zoom practices, all that for until next week, which will be the birthday of the Buddha Shakyamuni, according to the calendars. So we come together Friday, this coming Friday, which is falls what? June 5, I think. June 5, so it comes to June 5, that time, then we come back again, then we'll do, Lama Laya is going to announce those in soon, so you will look there and see that. But anyway, so that's what we're really going to do the practice. Then we resume again for another 3 days. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's what we're going to do the practice as we've been doing, and then the teaching, and the practices, as get together, whoever has time, please join with us that time, like that. And then, so we will stop again for 5 days or 3 days, and it is resumed back again the following Friday, and the Saturday and Sunday like that. So we'll go on like for a while, and in the June like that. So that's our kind of schedules, and then of course Lamalaya will announce that in a Trashidele bullet.
The 29th is when we start.
It will go until 29th of June. 29th of June. So we do like that, start and do that. And we thought also that maybe it's more suitable to everyone, because now everything is opening up and all that. People had to do all that. So, and then for those reasons, we thought maybe it's better to do that way. So that's our thought. So Dharma centers and everything is really gradually opening with cautiously, and also our Palm Beach Dharma Center in Florida, also, and as well as the Nashville Dharma Center, and also opening so you can look locally in their blood news, and which is supposed to be this in the coming Tuesday. We'll have the evening practice of the Heart Sutras. or like you can look to your own bullet board of the virtue practices, so that, I mean, you please look, okay, I'm maybe not announced very correctly, but you look to those places and then really resume the practice with, again, very thoughtful, very respectful each other. So if somebody got something happened that due to our kind of like mindfulness, then it's really not good. So therefore, always thoughtful, which is the teaching of the great teacher Buddha Shakyamuni, respectful, thoughtful, and very, very practical way, and then move forward our practice, meditation, all good activities. Okay, so that's our thought, and now we do short again meditation, and then we do the healing retreat. Thank you very much, everyone, really participating and coming and together and the support, and thank you so much, everyone. Okay, I'm so thankful, and all Sangha members of the Samye Ling are very happy and very delightful. Thank you very much, everyone. Okay, thank you. Now we do the short meditation.